On March 16, 2020, the Los Angeles Unified School District closed school campuses due to the COVID-19 pandemic for the safety and health of its students, faculty, staff, and families. At Foshay Learning Center, the Inside Out Community Arts After-School program had to stop. After only 7 weeks of workshops, students could no longer meet with teaching artist leaders to continue to learn and practice the performing arts. Creating art had to change. And here are some photos of the workshops that we had at Foshay while we were on site. This is our opening circle, a vocal warm-up at the start of a workshop, pounding on our chest, opening up our throat, and expanding our diaphragm. There are some students doing our first hitchhiker workshop. Looks like we have some lazy characters there.
And during this first workshop, the students learned about improvisation. Here we have 2 students who improvised their first scene on emotions.
Excited.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Hurry up, you're taking so long.
Apologetic.
Oh, I'm sorry for taking so long. I'm sorry.
Afraid.
Let's not go on that right.
Competitive.
Let's go on that right, and I'm sure I'm gonna win. No, I'm gonna win.
Exhausted.
I'm tired. When will we go home again?
Romantic. It doesn't have to be about love. It can just be. Envious. Like you want what she has.
Jealousy.
Jealousy, yeah. Melodramatic. That means very dramatic and big.
Telenovela.
Telenovela.
Oh my goodness, son and daughter! Let's go on this ride together, please!
Bored.
Let's leave. This is boring.
Surprised.
Oh wow. Wow. The sun is so beautiful.
Bossy.
The sun is not beautiful. Now we gotta go on Space Mountain.
Itchy.
Don't come close.
Giggly. Oh boy. Critical.
Oh, why you laugh so bad? I'm sorry.
Disorganized.
I forgot. I think I put my sock wrong.
And very, very, very old. Both of you.
Oh, my back.
And give them a round of applause.
Our nature workshop, which will be featured later today. Our circle discussion. And then we have our closing circle at the end of our workshops.
And at the end of the first workshop, the students create their first group poem called New Beginnings. The students share with a word, phrase, or descriptive image, what does new beginnings mean to you?
The Inside Out program is committed to developing the arts and social emotional learning of its Foshay students. From the start of the program, the teaching artist leaders made weekly phone calls to students and their families to build community and highlight the creative work of these students. With schools closed, Inside Out decided to continue its connection with Foshay students and families during the difficult time. The Inside Out at Home project was developed to help students cope with isolation by encouraging them to learn and express ideas on their emotions through art made at home. Today's Zoom presentation features creative work that students made at home with guidance from their teaching artists. Students were offered to create artworks in any medium they felt comfortable with to express their ideas and emotions. The students today will present works in progress or completed works in drawing, painting, poetry, short story, playwriting, and more. Though not all students in the program are able to present today, we are very proud of all of them for showing commitment, imagination, care, and courage throughout the Inside Out program, and especially now during the pandemic and school closures. We want to thank parents, family members, staff, and the teaching artist leaders for your time, energy, and commitment to make today's presentation possible. We also thank the important funders to our program. Inside Out Community Arts is offered free of charge to youth and families. We could not do this without our community partners, especially the City of Los Angeles Department of Cultural Affairs and Councilmember Marquise Harris Dawson for City Council District 8. Woo-hoo! Yes, and a very, very, very special thank you to the Foshay school staff, Principal Murray,
Yes.
Assistant Principal Arechiga, and Custodian Mr. Randy. They were helpful for us.
Hi, everyone.
So yes, let's please give them all a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you. We love to see it. Yes.
So with that, as we move on, I just want to, I'm going to mute everybody, and then I'll unmute people who will be presenting. But there may be opportunities where you want to applause. So sometimes if you're muted, let's all practice a waving and applause, so that way the students will know that you are applauding for them if they can't hear you. So very good. So that'll be our online Zoom applause, and some of you will be able to hear. So with that, I asked if everybody, I'm going to put everybody on mute so that we can continue with our presentation for today. Foshay Learning Center. At this point, I'm very happy to introduce our first teaching artist, who will introduce the students that the teaching artists work with, and that is teaching artist leader Jennifer Brown. And this is Jennifer Brown when she was a middle school student herself, and we're very happy to see her here. So Jennifer, take it away.
Hi people. It's wonderful to have everyone here. This was a great process and a challenging process. Foshay was a wonderful school to be at. We had a lot of support from Dr. Arechiga and from Randy, who just helped us with doors and everything like that. And then in diving into this process, just thank you to the parents and to all the students who participated. And I know sometimes some weeks it was challenging and some weeks it was easier to do the work, but it was really, I'm glad we found a way through this where we could continue our work with you. So the first student that I'm going to introduce to you is Daphne. Okay, there's Daphne with her cute picture. Daphne, what are you going to be sharing with us today?
What I did was it was supposed to be a comic, but I didn't finish it.
So we call that a work in progress.
Yeah.
So, and what was the theme that you chose?
It had to do with racism.
And it kind of started from political racism, right? About government leaders modeling racism.
Yeah.
And then, so then what are the characters that you created?
There was supposed to be 3 characters, but since I didn't finish, I only have 2 on there.
And tell us about them.
The ones on there are 2 flowers. The blue one, her name is Mia, and the one on the bottom is Alice.
And what is the conflict that they have between them?
One of the flowers thinks that they're prettier and better than the other because they were grown in that area and the other wasn't.
Okay, great. A very wonderful and imaginative way to tell a story about racism, but through just flowers from here and from there. And it's wonderful to think of people as flowers as well. So tell us what would have happened in this story. So this is the first part. What's the next thing that happens?
So right there, it shows the conflict where the flowers are arguing about who's prettier, and I was supposed to finish it and write where another person comes in the story and tells them that even though they're from different places, they're still equally beautiful and the same.
Okay, great. I'm going to say, Daphne, that actually, in a way, this one page is a completed story because you're presenting the exact conflict there and showing how beautiful both things are. So you might feel like you didn't finish it, but this page does tell a meaningful story, and it's beautiful drawing. So good job.
Thank you.
Nice, very nice.
I just would like to add for Daphne, if you can come back on Daphne, is that Daphne was the Idlewild Scholarship winner for Foshay. So she was the one that auditioned and won the scholarship to go to Idlewild for the summer camp. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, the summer camp will be closed for the summer. But we're looking to have her maintain those scholarship for next summer. So I definitely wanted to acknowledge and congratulate her for being the scholarship recipient.
Yay!
Thank you.
Okay.
So next up for me is we have a duo, which is Erica and Juan. And why don't you introduce Juan?
Yeah, Juan was very creative to work with. He has many different talents, and he's actually a photographer as well. But we talked through the process for Juan, and it was just a case of, he was very much into video games and very much into things in the past. And so he came up with the topic, and between both of us, we narrowed it down to rites of passage. And so he decided he would do a drawing on that. And out of that, like everything else, we kept going, and there's also going to be a monologue, and Erica is also helping.
Yeah, so Erica came in and to collaborate with Juan. And Erica, why don't you tell us about the characters that you and Juan created for your monologue?
So my character's name is Serena, and that's Juan's younger sister. Or his character's younger sister. And I talk about my perspective, how he had left, and how I felt when he left.
And how old are you when you're reading this monologue?
67.
Okay, great.
Juan, how old are you when you monologue?
I'm 68.
Okay, that makes sense.
So just before you start your monologue, can you tell us what the scenario of the monologue is, Erica?
So we're talking to his grandchildren?
Yeah.
I don't know, grandchildren.
That's
and
right.
We're saying how they have it much easier now than we did.
What happened right before the monologue started?
They're complaining about chores.
Okay, great. So do you want, actually I believe it's Erica, your monologue goes first, right?
Yeah.
And Juan, do you want to say anything about the character you created before you read your monologue?
His name is Arthur, and he left to become a knight, which explains why she was by herself.
Okay.
Yeah, Juan, can you explain a little what we're looking at?
It's the evolution of how a young boy becomes a knight. So first they start off as a page. Basically, they begin their basic training, and then they become the next one. Yeah, that's from 7 to 14 years old. It's when they become a page and begin their basic training. And then after is a squire. Basically, they're like an assistant knight, and they train under a knight. And then they become a knight at the age 21.
Okay, so we'll turn it over to Erica.
Use that voice, Erica.
Action.
Why are you complaining? You kids have it better than I did, as did your grandpa Arthur over here. He went away to become a knight and left me doing all the chores. And you do not know how furious I was. What was that, you old sack of potatoes? Hold on, let me turn my hearing aid back on. As I was saying, your grandfather here, he went away to become a knight when he was 7, and I was alone. I felt sad for a period of time, but accepted that he went to go help our people fight. On the bright side, I got an enormous amount of attention, but I still missed my brother. I think he was able to achieve his full potential going there. Even if he didn't have chores, he had an enormous responsibility. Every day he was training to put his life at stake for our people, just to protect us. So you shouldn't complain about how difficult your chores are. I had them doubled, and Gramps over here trained every day, and now you're here. I would wish to have your technological lives. Everything would be immensely easier.
Yay, great reading, Erica. Great job with the voice and with holding it all the way through. Nicely done. And then Juan, you have a monologue that goes along with that, right?
Yeah, it's from my point of view. You kids are complaining about doing chores. When I was your age, I was sent away to train to become a knight at 7 years old. I had to wake up early to do training all day and barely had any rest. While you guys are just complaining about doing small things, I was sent to live with some rich man alone without my family and had to train day and night. If I messed up on something, I had to do it again and again until it was perfect. You may think it's awesome that I was a knight, but becoming one definitely wasn't.
That's true.
Great job. Great job, Juan.
Well done, both of you.
Very good.
So next up is Melinda. So Melinda, why don't you share what your theme was and why you picked it?
I'm a little embarrassed of it, but my topic was about me going to the market and seeing a homeless man being bullied and someone sticking up for them. And I picked this
wonderful.
because I think that the message is to let other people know to stand up for homeless people, because you don't know what they're going through. Because I see a lot of people getting hurt, especially the homeless people. So yeah.
Okay, wonderful. That's meaningful. And so Melinda, you can read the captions when they come up. There's going to be the picture, caption, picture, okay?
Okay. One day I went to walk to the market to get food, and when I got there, I saw someone bullying him. Well,
Okay.
a homeless man.
And then the next one.
The next one,
Oh, hang on, here comes there.
now I stand up for him, for the homeless man. Then when the bully left, I bought him food. Then I walked home feeling good about what I did.
Great. Nice, Melinda. You created a full story with a really powerful, important message there. Well done.
Very good. Nice job, Melinda.
Yeah. Yes, there's so many homeless people out there right now, so it's important that we do what we can. And then we have Moni next up. So Monty, come off of mute. There you are. And Monty, what was the theme that you were looking at?
My theme was bullying.
Okay, and what was the message that you had around bullying?
My message for bullying was because bullies are going to do things at home or are going to do things at home doesn't mean you have to bully others.
Great. So, but that's smart and good thinking that you chose to look at it from the point of view of the bully, and to really try to understand that bullies have a reason why they are bullies. So let's show the picture that you drew. Do you want to share anything about the picture?
So this picture was a small sketch of how I thought I wanted the bully to look in a way. So that's just a small sketch of the bully.
Okay, and you have a monologue you wrote from the point of view of the bully, is that right?
Yes, it's kind of a point of view from everyone.
Okay, really project your voice so we can hear it because we can't read it, okay?
Okay. Why Be a Bully, starring Principal Hawkins, Sarai Jackson, Ebony Bryce, and Michaela Brown. Written by Samani Middleton. At school. Principal Hawkins. Good morning, students. I'm happy to announce that we will be having a new student coming to our class today. Sarai, introduce yourself to the class, please. Sarai. Hi, I'm Sarai Jackson. I'm 12 years old, and my family and I moved here from New York. Ebony, which is the bully. Did she come from the dumpster or something? Ha 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 ha. Principal Hawkins, Ebony, that is unacceptable. You have detention after school today because you know our #1 rule is no bully. Sarai. Ebony, man, Sarai. Sigh. What a great first day of school. Ebony, this isn't over, Sarai. Ebony. Sarai, right. I bet it isn't. Michaela, hey, I'm Michaela. Don't worry about her. She's just mean when she's jealous. They both laugh. At the end of the day, Ebony goes to detention and the other girls go home at Sarai's house. Sarai's mom. Hey, hon, how was your day? How was your first day at school? Sarai, it was fine. Sarai's mom. Okay, dinner's almost ready. Sarai, okay, mom, that's homework. The next day, the bully gets to school and she talks to her, what you'd call minions, about Sarai. And then that's when Sarai sticks up for herself. Sarai walks up to the bully. Hey, it's not funny to make fun of people because you don't know what they're going through at home and you don't know what they've gone through in the past. And then the bully says, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm also going through things at home. My parents say I'm a mistake all the time. Then they become friends, and then they live happily ever after.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Great.
You know, it's a perfect story, Monty, because that's a lot of what our program is about, is bringing people from different communities together so that people have a better understanding of each other, because we all have a story, and your beautiful story told exactly that. That's wonderful work you did there. Can we go one more round of applause for Monty?
Happy to introduce, which you've already met. Our next artist leader is Thomas Callahan. There we go, Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a great opportunity to be at Foshay. I really miss you guys. You know, I think about what would have been as far as writing a play, but I mean, this experience has been come together. It's just been absolutely wonderful. So we're going to start off with Damari. And Damari is very multi-talented. He's actually going to make 2 presentations. And his both the same theme, and it's a timely topic. It's about the pandemic. So he has a drawing and he has a poem. So Damari, do you want to start off with the drawing first? You can tell us, you know, why you picked this topic and what it's about.
Okay. Um,
If you can,
I did the drawing for that, so you see that they're wearing masks and they're not really 6 feet away because I did forgot to make them like that, but they're on different sides that kind of shows that they're 6 feet away from each other. And then there's a person that I said that is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that came in the future and seen what's happening in 2020, and then he gave a speech about it.
Great, wonderful. Yeah, it's so timely, obviously, and it's okay. They're not 6 feet away right now. We can say it was the very beginning, and out of that, you wrote a poem, and why don't you share that with us?
Okay. I have a dream that one day our boys and our girls can finally go outside and play without wearing a mask. And one day you won't have to wear a mask to get service at stores. You won't have to fight over toilet paper or hand sanitizer. I don't know why you even fighting over toilet paper. The pandemic affects your respiratory system. It doesn't give you explosive diarrhea.
All right, let's give him a hand. Wonderful work, Damari. I just think it's wonderful that you added some sense of humor into that, which was really great. And I love, we only had talked about this in the last week. Jennifer had made the suggestion to give that speech, sort of sounding like in the same timbre and presentation as Dr. Martin Luther King. And you definitely did that. So wonderful work, wonderful work. All right, let's go. And so our next one is Dontrell. Dontrell is also multi-talented. He writes and he's a video photographer. And he also came up with something that was very much a timely issue, and it's going to be very timely as we get closer. The right to vote. And he has also had his brother Dante help him with a video. So Dontrell, do you want to talk about your project? So why don't you tell us about your video before we show it? You chose equal rights, the right to vote.
I chose equal rights because so we could like show what happened like back in the day.
Back in the days when what? What was it like back in the days?
Like of what happened to the black people. I don't know what it is. The black people.
Why don't we show your video so folks can see what you and your brother Dante did?
okay, here we go. A video by Dontrell.
Like, show you.
Here we go.
Dontrell.
Our children wanted the right to vote. And there was another man named Chantel who didn't want him to have the right to vote. But the story began. I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. So if you don't have the right to vote because of your skin color. Wait, what? Just get off my property and I don't want to see you ever again. That's not fair for our people to vote. I will fight this for our rights. 2 years later, he fought for the law and won. That ends.
All right. Great. Woo! So Dontrell, how long did that take you to put together?
It took 15 minutes.
15 minutes. And how long did it take you to write it? What's that? Wow.
Like an hour.
Well, you really did a great job considering it took you that long, and you had all the elements. You know, one of the things I'm missing is that we won't be able to do our plays, but you did a great job in just a couple of minutes of having a beginning and a middle and an end and imposing views, and you had a resolution at the end, a happy resolution at the end, which is great. So good work to you and good work. And thank you, Dante, for helping out. Let's give him a hand. Okay, our next one coming up is Tracy. Tracy, again, a topic that's really close to home, no pun intended. She wanted to talk about homework because, we would call the kids every week and, although everyone's out of school, they still have homework. And of course, some would say, oh, my homework's all done, or I'm still working on it. So it creates a lot of issues. So Tracy, do you want to talk about why you picked homework for your topic?
I think
You're on.
homework as my topic is sometimes too much homework causes me to feel overwhelmed and stressed. So I decided to do some research
What do you need?
on it, and I found out that homework is good sometimes because it helps you study the subject that you're studying, and it can also help you understand your topic better. But
Okay.
homework can also be bad because it can also cause anxiety, stress, and put pressure on kids because they feel overwhelmed to try to finish the homework when it's due. But it can also take away time from spending time with family.
Okay, and yeah, so as we discussed over the last several weeks, it creates a lot of stress. And why don't you explain what's in the drawing? Walk us through the drawing.
As you can see in this picture, I set out the inside of a home, and at the dining table, you can see a girl stressed out and overwhelmed because she has way too much homework and is trying to finish it before it is due. You can also see she's flipping through her homework, which she can see what she can see to start first.
And what was you spent a lot of time thinking about this and coming into the topic and making a drawing. What did you come up with as far as the some of the things to redress homework solutions?
Something to help cope with homework is to make a schedule where you spend time doing your homework, the time to do other things, like spend time with your family or friends.
Right. So to break it up a bit, schedule it out, and as we talked about, to break it up a bit so it isn't so overwhelming, and that'll certainly relieve some of the stress. So great job, and great for bringing a topic that is so important to all of us. Even I'm an actor, and I still have homework as an actor, and it can be stressful. But thank you very much. Let's give Tracy a hand.
Yay, Tracy.
Nice job.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
I'd like to introduce our next teaching artist, the trainee who's coming on. Just very pleased to introduce Jose Medrano. But there he is on the left side when he was a middle school youth. There he is now today. So go ahead, Jose.
Howdy, everyone. Of course, I'm Jose. Yeah, this is my 10th year now with Inside Out, which is crazy. And it would have been my first time helping do play creation as an artist leader. So I was a little bummed out that didn't get to happen, but this experience has been really cool, just seeing how committed everyone is to things they're passionate about, to things they care about. And this time is just amplifying that, right? Everyone is just really focused on what matters to them and what they have to say. And it's been really cool getting to work with the students over the phone and creating these pieces that are really stunning. And everyone's work so far is so great. So my first student is Angelina. Hey, Angelina.
Hi.
You there? Hey, Angelina. So Angelina has been great to work with. Started off doing lots of drawing, sitting outside on the balcony with her sister and drawing together. So you did some really cool drawings and more. So tell us about your topic and why you chose to do it.
So my topic is about animals, and well, it's more so about like animal abuse and kind of how sometimes animals, you see like animals on the streets, or like they're just like left alone and they don't really have like a home. And I feel like that's really sad, because I feel like every dog should like have a home, or they should be treated equally like as humans are.
Exactly. And you had also said that you were inspired by, you saw commercials on TV where you saw these animals. So that inspired you to write a sort of speech / PSA sort of thing. So we're going to have you read your speech now.
I believe that dogs are kind, cute, loving animals. A fact about dogs is that they can read human emotions. Another fact is dog senses are 10,000 to 100 times stronger than a human's. A third fact is a dog's nose print is totally unique, the way the fingerprints of humans are. The dogs are innocent, and they deserve our love. It makes me sad when I see commercials about dogs and they say that the dogs are being abused or don't have homes. This is why I believe that we should be kind, loving, and caring to dogs, because even if you don't love your dog, they still love you. And they will always love you no matter what. Please don't mistreat dogs. Thank you.
Statement, period. And then you also did drawings of 2 dogs.
Yes.
So talk to us about these drawings. Tell us about these dogs. What inspired these 2 dogs? Who are they?
Okay. What inspired me to draw these 2 dogs is the one on the left is a Schnauzer, and that is like the type of dog that I have. And I actually have one of my dogs right here with me.
Oh, yay!
What's their name?
This dog is named Sam.
Zach.
And what like inspired me was that the dog on the left is like basically the breed of my dogs that I have, and I think the one on the right was just a dog that I thought looked really cute, and like the picture kind of explains how dogs, like, they look innocent and how like they look really cute and like loving, and how you really shouldn't mistreat a dog because they don't really deserve what they get. And also the dogs like don't deserve any of this, and they should all be treated equally.
Yeah, I think it's really cool how you represented that sentiment by, literally putting a little heart into their design. That's a really nice element. Thank you so much, Angelina. Everyone give a round of applause for Angelina. And my next student that I had the pleasure of working with over the past few weeks is Gabriella. Gabriella, where are you? Hey, Gabriella. So Gabriella also really into drawing. Gabriella loves anime, and so we're talking a little bit about that at the start of all of this. And Gabriella, what was the topic that you chose to work on, and why?
Family and love. I chose family as my topic because I really love how families get connected together in hard times and in more hard times.
Yeah. And we talked about especially how in these moments where it is so difficult, it's important that we feel that we're heard and that we're seen by our families, right? Mm-hmm. One of the things we decided to work on were to find specific moments where Gabriela, where you felt loved, specific moments at home where everyone was connected. So you drew one of those moments for us. So we can get that on the screen. So tell us about this drawing. What was this moment about at home where you felt love? How is that shown in this drawing?
For me, it showed love because since we're all sitting in one place, we could like all like hug each other and watch the movie, and also just like eat stuff.
Yeah, it's really great that although sometimes we have to be distant from each other, you know, the people who we live with in our families at home, this is the time for us to really bond and get closer together. And so I think that's really beautiful that you were able to show us one of those moments where you felt that at home. So everyone give a round of applause for Gabriela.
Nice work. Nice colors. Great colors.
Thank you, Gabriela. And my next student is Giovanni. Hi, Giovanni.
Hi.
So Giovanni, prior to even Inside Out, really into acting, really into theater, and has been writing monologues. And one of the first things we talked about was how his favorite movie is Titanic. And we started off with exercises of him writing scenes of, you know, what's a scene that might take place on the Titanic that didn't necessarily happen in the movie. So for this, Giovanni did a scene and a short story. Giovanni, tell us about the topic that you wrote about for this short story and why you chose it.
So I wrote about kind of like nature surroundings and about this person who has like doesn't like to go outside, but then one day he went outside and saw how nature was peaceful, and like he connected with the animals.
Yeah, that's great. It's always important to connect animals, and like again, this is another chance for us to go outside and just see what's immediately around us and what we can connect to in the environment. And how we talked also about how important it is for the animals to, you know, have these spaces, because a lot of them are losing their homes. So the first thing that we're going to start off with to introduce the short story is a short scene. So if we can get that up. And in the chat, can I have, would someone like to volunteer to play the mom? If someone would like to volunteer to play the mom, or else I'll play the mom. I can play the mom, but.
Me.
Who said me?
Damari, I want to.
Okay, Damari. Okay, so Damari, you're mom, and Giovanni, you're Archie. So Giovanni, you can start off by reading the title, and you could read the stage directions as well.
Okay, so my two friends. Okay, so like Archie's mom sees that he has been playing for a long time and goes up to him to tell him something.
Archie, can you please get off your video games, because you spend too much time on your electronics. I would appreciate if you can get off of it. If you can get off of it for at least an hour.
Mom, there's nothing to do now because I don't even have a friend at all. All my old friends hate me now.
Well, you can always make new friends. I just don't want you to, I just don't want to see you be lonely.
It's fine. I'll be okay.
Can you at least go outside for me? I would appreciate if you could at least went outside for 10 minutes.
I guess I'll go outside for a bit.
All right, great job.
Great job. All
And
right,
now,
Damari and Giovanni.
Come on, boys.
Great voice, Damari.
Yes. So now, here is what happened when Archie went outside. This is a short story that Giovanni wrote for us.
Giovanni, can you share your video? Is that possible?
I don't see the video button on my screen.
Okay, that's fine. Very good, thank you. Okay, so we'll go on to your short story now.
So this is My True Friend, a short story by Giovanni Lorenzo.
So there I was, sitting, doing nothing, spending my summer just being home, playing video games until I would go to sleep. My mom would tell me that I should go outside and have fun, and go hang out with the kids and interact with them. I knew that I couldn't after what I had just done at school. Many kids hated me and sent me notes that were negative. Even though I tried to ignore them, I just couldn't. One day, my mom said that if I didn't go outside, she would take all my devices. So I chose to go outside. I knew that there was a rolling forest by my house since I've seen it before. I decided to visit it and saw how beautiful the trees were, and I also saw birds, and it was delightful to see. I kept on exploring it all. I didn't notice that it was the night already. When I was going back to my house, I heard a strange noise. I got so scared. I kept on hearing the noise, so I eventually went to go see what it was. When I arrived and saw the animal, I was so curious because I had never seen the animal before, but I saw that I was in pain. So I took it to my house and hid it in my room for the night. The following morning, I decided to see where it was hurt and saw that I had scars. After I went to my computer and was researching to see what animal it was until I found a shocking discovery, and I had seen that it was a toucan, and I saw that they are endangered, so I need the truth now. I was so shocked that I didn't want to take it back to the rainforest because I was thinking that it wouldn't be able to survive on its own. I decided to keep it and not tell anyone because then they will take it away. I still took it to the rainforest so the toucan could get fresh air. We would play in the rainforest until it was night. I would visit the forest every day with the toucan. After a while, I decided to give it a name, and I chose Avery, which I thought was a unique name. When me and Avery would go to the rainforest, I learned a lot about nature, such as how a tree gives us oxygen. I learned that 50% of animals on Earth live in the rainforest, which was interesting. Me and Avery would like to be by the waterfalls, which was my favorite spot. I knew that Avery was a toucan, but she was my real best friend. She was special to me and was the best friend that anyone could ever ask for. I had never felt this happy in my life. This kept on happening until one day my mom told me if I can run an errand. When I got home, my mom said she wanted to talk to me. She had found out about the toucan and said that I should let it live in the forest. I really didn't want to, but I knew it was the best. So the next day I took Avery back to the rainforest. The rainforest was huge, so I was kind of worried that I would never see Avery again. So I finally gave my last goodbye and let it on its own. I missed Avery a lot. I'd gotten so much joy. I don't care if people didn't like me, but Avery had taught me a lot about myself, and I found I can't see.
The rest was it. And I don't care if people didn't like me because Avery taught me a lot about myself. And I found out that I am do you remember those last three words? They were really powerful. That you're a what?
I am a true, strong, independent guy.
A true, strong, independent guy. Everyone give a round of applause.
Way to go!
Another thing that I really appreciate about that story is that it's not just about nature, but it's of course also about, you brought in that element of how bullying is also part of that, and how people can be really mean, right? But you still have yourself and you still have nature, and that's one way that you can get connected and be centered, right? So what inspired you to make your new friend a toucan? What inspired that, Giovanni?
Toucans were like mainly always my favorite animals. I think they're like I like the way they look.
Yeah, toucans are fun. They're pretty. They're cute. All right, thank you so much, Giovanni.
Nice work. Wonderful.
I'd like to now introduce another middle school person here. This is our teaching artist leader, Rudy Marcus, when he was in middle school. And I'm very happy that he's part of the team. Rudy, go ahead and take it away.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there. Yes, I agree with what some of the statements somebody said earlier about how bummed I was too that we didn't get to go into play creation because we have such a great group of students with a lot of talent to share. But we'll do it soon. All right, we're gonna kick it off with Alejandra. Alejandra, ¿estás lista? Quita el mute de tu computadora porque tú vas a empezar.
There you go.
Ok. Vamos a empezar con Alejandra Josebet Terrán. Ha sido inspirada por las artes en general. Le gusta bailar, escuchar música, ver películas y en algunas ocasiones la puedes encontrar cantando. Su primera experiencia al teatro fue en nuestro programa. Le encantó y espera poder un día temprano aplicar todo lo que aprendió y desenlazar un personaje en el escenario. Alejandra Josebet Terrán is inspired by arts in general. She likes to dance, listen to music, watch movies, and you can occasionally catch her singing. Her first experience with the theater was through our program, and she loves it and hopes to one day apply what she learned on stage. Now, Alejandra ahora nos va a decir sobre el dibujo que ella pintó. So, Louis, if you can pop up her paintings, she's gonna talk to us about the painting she drew. Alejandra, es todo tuyo.
El arte es muy importante ya que es un lenguaje más que nos permite expresar nuestras ideas y sentimientos.
She says the art is very important because it is another language that allows us to express our thoughts, our feelings.
Cada uno de nosotros, cada uno de nosotros es importante que hagamos de nuestra vida un arte.
It's important that each of us make art out of our lives.
Para poder encontrar algo que nos inspire, que nos relaje.
To be able to find something that inspires us and relaxes us.
El arte enamora, te regala, te inspira y te motiva a hacer más de él.
Art is love, and it motivates you and helps you find more art.
Yo me motivé a hacer esa pintura por todo tipo de arte. Por ejemplo, la música, el cine, el teatro y el baile y el canto.
I was inspired to make this drawing because I love all the arts in general. Art, music, watching movies, theater, dancing, singing.
A mí me gusta pintar porque cuando tenía 5 años mi mamá me inscribió a un taller de pintura.
I like to draw because when I was 5, my mom enrolled me in a class where I learned to draw and paint.
Desde entonces me ha gustado pintar, todo tipo de cosas.
Ever since then, I've loved to draw all sorts of things.
Las personas en dibujo no me salen muy bien, pero lo he estado intentando y pues ya voy mejorando.
Drawing portraits is not my strongest suit yet, but I'm practicing and I'm getting better at it.
Todo.
Ok, ahora dinos cómo fue que comenzaste con este primer retrato que estábamos viendo. Can we go back, Louis, to one? Háblanos de sobre cómo fue que empezaste, cómo fue que empezaste con este y después cambió.
Bueno, pues la verdad es que a mí me gusta hacer de un solo fondo las cosas, pero pues descargué la imagen de YouTube y la descargué y pues así estaba todo. La bailarina era diferente, pero le quise añadir unas cosas mías. Pero
So,
ya
permíteme porque no se me olvida. So I typically I like to draw things just out of what I see, but with this I decided to look at the internet for inspiration on the arts, but I did make some modifications to make it a little bit more my own. Acuérdate que me decías de las cortinas.
luego le quería cambiar las cortinas porque no me gustaron para nada.
Entonces, pues después mi mamá me ayudó un poquito y me dio la idea, entonces me gustó y le quise añadir brillantina y hacer como los cuadritos de cine, como de películas viejas.
Can we go to the next one? So when I drew this first draft, I didn't like the curtains. I was like, nope, no good. So I needed to go back and talking to my mom, she gave me a great idea that inspired me to add glitter to give it that texture. And then I also added glitter to everything else. And if you look at the sides, those little squares, that's supposed to represent the film strip, a film strip as if we're seeing it. ¿Alguna otra cosa que quieras decir sobre la pintura? No? Okay, can we go to the next one?
So these are
these are paintings that that she's done in the past that she she let us share, but she has these hanging on her wall. Estos dibujos, Alejandra, estas pinturas, ¿cuánto tiempo te delató hacerlas o que tienen alguna historia?
No, la verdad es que yo cuando, no sé, quiero desahogarme, estoy enojada, estoy triste, se me viene algo a la mente o si no se me viene nada, pues lo busco y ya pinto y me desahogo toda.
So I asked her, can you tell us a little bit more about these drawings? Like what's the story behind them? And she says, well, the thing is that whenever I'm feeling sad or tired or angry, this is my outlet. This is what I like to paint. This is what I like to do. And, you know, I just go into my head and these are the images that come out. ¿Recuerdas lo que me decías de por qué dibujabas paisajes?
Bueno, pues me gusta dibujar paisajes porque la verdad es que a mí me gustaría poder visitarlos algún día.
So I asked her, so something that she told me on our phone calls was why she liked to draw naturescapes. And she says the reason she loves to draw naturescapes is because one day these are the places that she'd love to visit. Y ahora danos el título de tu pintura, de tu primer pintura.
Es el cine.
El
arte.
So the title of her first piece was El Arte, which means the art. ¿Cuál era el tema? ¿Te acuerdas? La importancia.
La importancia del arte.
Her theme behind all these was the importance of the arts y el mensaje que querías que recibiera la gente cuando viera tu pintura.
Bueno, pues a ver, es que le cambié, no sé si se la mandó mi mamá.
No me mandó, no. Pero ¿te acuerdas cuál era el mensaje que me habías dicho que querías compartir? Sí lo dijiste, pero lo dijiste en tu descripción de la importancia de tener las artes porque nos relaja y nos inspira.
Oh,
¿Sí?
ya. La importancia de tener las artes es porque nos relaja, nos inspira y bueno, pues la verdad es que pintar es muy bonito. Es desvanecer los colores, es muy bonito, es como hacer un arco iris, verlo y muy bonito todo, muy brillante. La verdad es que a mí me encanta.
Perfecto. I was just asking her to encapsulate her message. She had already said it in her original description, but her message was that we need to have the arts to relax and to find inspiration. And then she went on to say, it's just that she loves drawing, she loves painting, she loves mixing and blending colors and seeing them come to life and be bright like a rainbow. Muchas gracias, Alejandra. Thank you, Alejandra.
Yay!
Bravo.
Wow.
On our wall. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, next we have Jasmine. Jasmine is a multi-talented sixth grader. She comes from a family of musicians. Her grandpa plays multiple instruments, and he has begun to pass it down first to her older brother and now to her. Later, her little sister will also begin to learn from him. Jasmine has been playing instruments since she was Jasmine has been playing instruments for 4 years now. She plays the clarinet, the piano. She also draws, dances, an axe. Jasmine drew a beautiful picture for us that she will now talk about. Take it away, Jasmine.
My drawing is about helping others. The hand represents my mom and also me and my family. The heart represents my grandma, and the plus sign represents her health. Her health. I got these ideas because my grandma keeps on getting sick every single time, and I just felt like my family always need a helper every single time she gets sick.
All right, so you found your inspiration from your grandma, you said, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, excellent use of color pencils. Anything else that you want to tell us? What's the message that you wanted us to take away from your drawing?
Always help people who are in need.
Yeah, to always help people who are in need. Thank you so much for sharing this drawing with us and letting us see it and describing it for us. Let's give her a round of applause, everybody. Good job.
Nice.
All right, Ricky, unmute your computer. You can hear me, excellent. All right, Ricky Vidal Diaz, AKA Ricky the Great, has many talents. He dances, plays guitar, draws, sings, writes, and acts. There's nothing he can't do. His creativity is unstoppable. Here to share with us a story that he wrote. This story was inspired by real events. Ricky, take it away.
Okay.
What do you mean, You
uh,
got this.
So I'll just read it. This is the introduction of two.
Hold on, Ricky, real quick. Louis, can we get the his slide that has the message to the audience?
Yes.
All right, Ricky, start with the title and then go ahead and take it away.
Okay. So this title is called Long Distance, and yeah. So in this story, the characters don't have names, and you guys are supposed to make it up how the characters look, act, and feel.
All right.
Okay. This is the introduction of two people, a man and a woman. This is also the end of a 10-year relationship. They had issues. They met back in high school. They fell in love and had a 10-year relation. At some point, they would be so connected one day, and the next day they would fight. It just didn't add up. One day, unexpectedly, his girlfriend's sister heard about their issues and beat the guy up. Once they recalled this memory, they quickly turned back. The girl didn't want to talk to him anymore. At the end, everyone loses. After all of this, the man grew depressed, and the woman went on in life. One day, the man talked to his friends about what happened, and no one seemed to believe him. He was almost about to give up his own life until he finally talked to his ex one more time. They talked through everything, and they both explained what they did. Finally, they got married and had 3 wonderful children. The end.
Good job writing your story. All right. Now tell us, what was the message of your story, Ricky?
So the message was supposed to be about long distance relationships. Usually that never works out. I've seen many people struggle with that before, and I don't know any authors that have talked about this issue. So I guess I wanted to talk about it.
Great. What was the theme that you were going for here?
Yeah, just long distance relationships.
Okay.
Long distance relationship. Sorry.
Here we
Well,
go.
hello there. I'll be your narrator. Today we'll be looking at the story of a really sad relationship that is long distance. Keep in mind that long distance relationships never work out. So please enjoy the next section. Wow, babe, you're the best. I just can't believe we're in this really nice relationship. Mwah. Mwah. I know, babe, you are so cool and I admire you.
10 years later, drama began to start.
Cue the lights. Oh my god, why are you late? You're still getting... Oh, babe, we haven't even talked in so long. This is your fault. Hit. That night, the boyfriend got hit. It was sad and harsh. They came back and talked about what happened. I know. It was really bad of me to hit you. I'm sorry. That was rude of me. Then finally, they agreed to be in a relationship again, got married, and had 3 wonderful children. The end.
All right.
Sorry.
All right.
So,
Cue a light.
Ricky. Oh, there's more. All right, Mr. Ricky, thank you for coming on our show. We want
I was just like looking back, and I feel like if I make stories that are too depressed, no one's gonna want to like listen to them. So I decided to like take another approach. Like for the first time, I decided to make like a short video. But then this was like last minute, so that's why it came out really bad. I could have done better if I had more time. But then yeah, I guess I just wanted to tackle the story in a different way and make people laugh.
excellent, excellent. I mean, listen, I understand that that it was a last minute video, so you had a couple little setbacks. But if you had a chance to do it all over again, what would you add to your video to make it to what you would love to see?
I would add more dialogue. I would try to make like more jokes. I don't know. I was trying out like another solution. I was gonna try to like break the fourth wall a little bit, which is really cool.
Excellent.
And then I also wanted to add like more music and effects, and then yeah, so the video looks aesthetically pleasing.
That's great. I'm getting a note from my producers here that say that, oh, this is actually a first draft. Like there's still some editing being done, some reshoots. So you know what? We look forward to seeing the final product.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on to my show. We'll have that next time. All right, let's give him a round of applause, everybody. Good job.
So that concludes our live presentation of the students. But what we wanted to share more of some of the works that the students did during our time at Foshay. And we have a workshop called Nature, where students created nature poetry. The Inside Out Nature Workshop develops students' imagination and reflection on nature outside of the urban environment. Here are the poems the students created that include students who are not able to be with us today as part of the presentation, and some of them who are with us here today. So that with that, we honor everyone's contribution to the Inside Out program. We have a poem by Angelina. We won't go through all the, we won't read them, just we're gonna share what they did. There's a few that wanted to share their poems. Ariana, Alejandra, Teran, we have Brandon, Daphne, heard it today, Erica, and Gabriella H. Poem by Giovanni.
Yeah.
Do you want to read your poem?
Okay. I am sitting on a boat in the Pacific Ocean. It's daytime in the summer. I see an island. I see lots of trees on the island, a lot of tall ones. I feel the warm weather coming from the sun. I breathe the fresh air coming from the beautiful trees. I feel peaceful, calm, and relaxed here. This is the place I come when I'm tired, depressed, and frustrated. I know that I can express my feelings here. I know this place is meant for me and will always be the place.
Thank you, Giovanni. Very nice. Thank you. Then we have one from Hannah. Jasmine. Juan. Kayani was another student. Nada. She was with us earlier today and she had to leave. Arena. Ricky, do you want to read your poem, sir?
Yeah.
In the nature workshop, in addition to having students write an original nature poem from imagining themselves in a nature picture, Students are also directed by the student writer to create a tableau that comes alive, where students animate elements of nature like wind, river, grass, and animals. Here is a group animating Ricky's poem titled 1950.
As I'm sitting here, I feel the spring breeze flowing through my curly hair. I watch as the grass moves like it's dancing. It's a bit funny. The water moves as the sun hits it. The sun's heat hits it and hits like the streets without it. Everything's relaxing and little. I see fishes and turtles near the hot sand. This is awesome.
Yay! So good. All of you guys take a bow together. Take hands. Take a bow. This is what it's going to be like when you do your performance with everyone on stage. And bow. Good job, you guys. You can circle up from right where you are.
That was awesome. Thank you, Ricky. All right, we'll go on to Bonnie. Let's have you read your poem, please.
As I sit on the firm green grass, I watch the waves of the clear blue water rush by back and forth. I have a perfect view of the big mountains covered in pearly white snow. I look up into the light blue sky as the sun shines on me from above. Then I lay down under the tall green trees and fall asleep.
Yes, very nice. Thank you, Bonnie, and for getting through the technical difficulties. That was nice. We had one from Taylor and Tracy. Do you want to share your poem today?
Yes.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
I am on top of this mountain, feeling so calm. I feel a fresh, calm breeze when I'm still. I can see the sunset from the mountains. I feel the warm sun on my skin. I feel calm and free when I'm still watching the sun. I feel like I'm back in a time where there was fresh water and you had to hunt for your food. I can smell the gentle smell of pine trees. I can feel that all these things make me so relaxed and calm.
Thank you very much. And we're going to go back. Try Ruby, let's try you one more time. Okay, Ruby, when you're ready.
I can smell the fresh water and hear it moving, the noisy leaves falling from the tree, the wind moving the grass. I can see the sunset. I can see the fish moving in the water. I can feel the fresh breeze. I can feel the grass under my feet.
Wonderful. Ruby.
In addition to the nature poems, the Inside Out program also provides a workshop where the students explore respect, disrespect, and self-respect in tableaus. Here is the second group poem by the Foshay Learning Center Inside Out students on why respect is important to me.
Now, at this time, that concludes our presentation of the artworks. And I want to, at this time, bring back our teaching artist leaders to have a few closing words for their students. Rudy, why don't you go first?
All right, I actually wrote a little something because then I translated it so that I wouldn't forget what I said. So it was wonderful to be able to bring the Inside Out program to Foshay. The students there were all amazing to work with. They were eager to learn and to perform. Most of them showed up early to help us set up the room. And after the school closed down, we, because of the pandemic, we could only communicate with the students over the phone. And it was nice to see how parents participated in helping the students create their art pieces. Whenever I spoke to parents, they would always share their gratitude for us calling and checking in and keeping their kids active. Even though it was challenging at times, we worked together to make sure that the lines of communication stayed open. I look forward to coming back to Foshay and working with students to create and perform their plays. Fue un placer haber trabajado en la escuela de Foshay. Los estudiantes en esta escuela son fantásticos. Tienen una sed de aprender y de participar. La mayoría llegaba temprano y nos ayudaban a mover sillas y a colgar pósters. Cuando la escuela cerró, solo nos podíamos comunicar con los estudiantes por teléfono. Y me dio mucho gusto ver cómo los padres ayudaban a sus hijos con sus proyectos de arte. Cuando platicaba con los padres, me dejaron saber que estaban muy agradecidos de que estuviéramos hablando para ver cómo estaba su hijo o hija. Aunque a veces fue un poco difícil comunicarnos, trabajamos juntos para mantener las líneas de comunicación abiertas. Espero poder regresar pronto a la escuela de Foshay y poder trabajar con los estudiantes y ayudarlos a crear su propia obra y verlos presentarla. Thank you.
Thank you, Rudy. Jose?
Everyone, thank you so much for being here, and thanks to all the students for, really investing their time into this and, like being patient with themselves. And I know a lot of us, we struggled, right, sticking to one sort of concept or trying to just make things work. But, we kept coming up with brand new solutions, trying new things. A lot of you tried forms of art that you maybe haven't really tried that much before, and you wanted to give it a try with this project. So I think that's really cool that this was an opportunity for us to expand ourselves as artists and to take initiative and to be creative. And it makes me really happy to see you guys caring so much about the world and how we can make it a better place.
Thank you, Jose. Thomas?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all the students. I really enjoyed the time we were there. I mean, we had some great workshops. A really full house, which made me feel really good. And, just from looking at the work that we did today, I can just only imagine what our place would be like. So that's something we can all look forward to when we return, when we go back to Foshay and we are able to actually complete our curriculum and create the plays that we wanted to create. I can't thank enough the administrators and the teachers and the principal they were just always open arms to help us, anything we needed, space, supplies, clearing the room. And, but wonderful work today. It was quite inspiring. And thank you to the parents. Calling up every week can be a challenge, but we did it. We called several times a week. A lot of times I got to talk to the parents first. And I could just tell from your voice that, you appreciated that we were able to make this effort. And we really appreciate that your children came through for us and did some wonderful, wonderful work. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. And now, Jennifer.
What everyone else said, I agree. And also I've been teaching with Inside Out for over 20 years, I think. And I've been at many, many, many schools in that process. And every school is different. And we love being at Foshay, and we always have a meeting right after the session. And we would start every meeting with, my kids were amazing. How were yours? Mine were amazing. Mine were amazing. These kids are freaking awesome. And you guys were so awesome about being playful and open and deeply courageous and getting up and doing whatever was asked of you. And that continued on in this process over the phone. And another thing, as somebody who's very self-critical of my own work, I know some of you said when you were presenting your work that you weren't happy with it, or it wasn't done, or it was this or that. All the work we saw today was magnificent because you did it and you shared it. And that is the courage piece of just sharing your work with the world. And every single one of you had a very powerful message. So feel good about yourself for following through and seeing this through. We are so proud of you.
Yes, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you very much for those words. We'd like to conclude our presentation for today. So at this point, I'd like to everybody to come and show your faces, turn on your videos. Great, and we're all back on as we conclude the day. So once again, on behalf of PS Arts and the Inside Out Community Arts teaching artists and staff, thank you all for being here this afternoon. This was our very first foray into the online learning and presentation. So I just really want to give a big thank you to the students for teaching us on how we should move forward with this. And every time that we're in our workshops, we always conclude our workshop with a closure for a bit of a reflection on what we have done, and as well as looking forward for the next time that we come together as a group. And so with this afternoon, we are going to create some artwork ourselves and do a community poem where I will share a prompt for everyone to respond. I have everybody's name here on my computer screen, so when I call your name, you can respond to the prompt. And as we're recording it, this will be our community group poem at Foshay Learning Center on Friday, May 29th, 2020. And the prompt is, what does community mean to you? Jennifer, with a word, phrase, or a descriptive image, what does community mean to you?
A safe nest to lie in.
Francisco.
Friends, family, and good food.
Giovanni.
Friendship.
Jose.
Like a really strong industrial strength glue.
Rudy.
Having somebody to lean on and being there for somebody.
Nice. Share for Alejandra, please, the prompt.
Alejandra, una palabra, una imagen que se te venga a la mente de lo que significa para ti comunidad.
Mi familia.
Tu familia, perfecto, gracias. Her family.
Thank you. Leo?
Supporting one another with love and kindness.
Thank you. Damari?
A group of people that gets along.
Daphne?
To me, community means a home where you feel comfortable in and welcomed.
Dennis?
Rich soil with many flowers.
Franz Luz?
The reflection of my heart.
Gabriela?
Caring.
Goretti?
Feeling at home wherever you are.
Kevin?
Standing in solidarity with my neighbors.
Maddie?
Safety and support.
Melinda?
Community means to me friends.
Amani?
A big family.
Paula?
Safety net.
Ruby?
Somewhere where you can feel safe.
Sarah?
Open, welcoming arms.
Thomas?
Togetherness and helping others.
And Tracy, are you still with us? Yes, there you are.
Work.
Audrey?
Friendship and connecting from the heart.
Nicole's Fire?
I would say understanding others and loving others.
Yes. So with that, give yourself all a round of applause. Good job on creating this poem. Really nice.
Woo! Beautiful.
All right. Great job.
So once again, thank you all. Students, thank you so much. You were wonderful this evening, this afternoon and evening. We are very pleased and honored to be working with you this last, what is it now, 19 weeks. And so with that, everybody have a good evening. Thank you all again for being here tonight. Much appreciated. And have a wonderful weekend. And be safe and be well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Well.
Everybody.